I want to make sure my lighting is right. My
I,
drink.
I know how you feel. I know how you feel, Mo. I'm the same way.
Oh, I had to put a little bit of lip gloss on too.
But
Oh,
how are you?
I'm good in you.
Good. Long time no
Promise.
see or talk, man.
I
It's been a
know.
minute.
There we go. Mm-mm.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, first I just want to begin, where it's crazy that this weekend, I think, is one full year in quarantine, which is
365 days a day for now.
right.
Even though people's outside a little bit,
Right, exactly.
I've been in
People
the
were,
house.
yeah. How therapeutic was it for you, would you say? With just kind of like you always say, you were always going, going, going. You never
Yeah.
stopped. You were always consistent.
Yeah.
Like I give you a lot of credit. Always working.
Literally since I was 15. So
Yeah.
this was like a shock to me, but it was therapeutic, and I didn't realize how much rest and
Hmm.
rebooting and relaxation I honestly needed. It wasn't a vacation because I still worked through it,
Hmm.
like finishing up the album and just like getting my mind together and just like just everything. Virtual
Yeah.
school, I didn't sign up for that, but I had to be a teacher, a mother, little mo, a preacher, a daggone brain specialist. I had to learn how to do my own makeup and everything. So with that being said, it was just like honestly the pandemic. I just think that this year went by. It seemed like it was slow because it was a lot of things that went on and that happened,
Hmm.
but pretty much it was much needed for me because I needed the break.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I think it was a blessing and a curse for a lot of people. Everyone was so, negative at first
Yeah.
because we were so spoiled, to be honest.
And they told us it was only going to be 2 weeks. I
In two
remember
weeks, yep.
they said 2 weeks. Everybody, and I remember just seeing all the signs: wash your hands. That was
Yep.
it. And they was like, all y'all have to do is wash your hands, and we get to go outside. 2 months later,
Yep.
they was like, wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. We get to go outside. We
Hmm.
the whole summer was. It wasn't a hot girl or a city girl summer last year. So hopefully
Yeah,
everybody got themselves together so this year we could be up.
exactly. Right. I'm ready. I'm waiting for my second COVID shot because I just want to. I don't know what's going to do to me, but I just want to travel and go to some
And
shows.
get
And
back to some normalcy.
if that means I could live for the next 5 years and live rather than not live and live for another 20 years, I'd rather live for 5 more years if I could just live. Like,
Yeah.
because I can't do this forever. Don't get me wrong. The year it was good to reflect and, get it situated, but yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready. But,
Yeah.
yeah, but this year's a big year for you. First of all, June marks 20-year anniversary
Yeah.
of Bass on a Tree. I remember buying that CD
Was it
at
June 23rd?
Coconuts.
Yeah, June 23rd or June 26th.
June 26th it was.
Yep.
I remember buying it at Coconuts. Like, and everyone talks about still the Little Mo braids. Everyone, like every girl I know was like, oh, I had Little Mo braids. Like, it's so funny. It was like a thing. It still is. People still say that to this day, you
Yep.
know?
Everybody getting the knotless.
Uh-huh. But, how does it feel 20 years? I mean, it it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
A lot has happened in 20 years, 2 decades. I've seen a lot of people come and go, but the fact that I'm still around is a blessing. The fact that I still got this glow is a blessing.
mhm,
People like, you don't age, do you?
you
And I'm
don't.
like, honestly, that's a blessing because there's a lot of people I see personally and professionally. I'm just like, dang, like they burnt
Yeah.
themselves out because somebody didn't tell them to slow down or get the much needed rest. Like I
Hmm.
honestly think that I can attest to my youthfulness is because I have young children that are part of this generation that keep me young, as well
Hmm.
as having a bedtime, drinking your water, minding your business, staying out the way. That's what keeps you glowing and that's what keeps you going. So
Yeah.
it's like 20 years, like there's a lot of people who grew up to my music. They're in college. I was like, I remember when I was young and your songs are out, and I wasn't even old enough to be singing about these relationships and talk about some I'll be your superwoman. But the babies are adults now, and it's good to
Yeah.
see them grow up under my voice.
Yeah, definitely. Like, are you gonna, we don't, hopefully by the end of this month or maybe even April, we'll know kind of something for the summer, you know, like
Yeah.
regarding
Because they
shows
just
and
said everybody about to get their stimmy. So I know everybody
exactly.
in the comments is happy about that.
Yes, but
They was
are you?
like, we don't care about nothing else. Where's our stimmy?
It's,
Hmm.
I can't wait for that to
We
deposit.
did it, Joe.
I mean, but you know, if the world does open up in time for June, do you want to do anything special for? Because I got to fly out wherever you do a show or
Heck,
something.
yeah, literally days before the pandemic started, we knew something was going to happen, but we didn't know that it was to
Mm-hmm.
this extent. So I was actually on tour, the Femme It Forward tour, and
Yep.
there were more dates coming up, but a lot of things had to be postponed, which we thought was going to be 2 weeks, turned to two
Mm-hmm.
months. Then we thought that it was going to pick up in September. Then everything was shut down. So with that, it's like, you know, I know they're waiting for the actual word from, I guess, all
Mm-hmm.
the governments to say that, you know, that concerts can carry back on and start up again, because a lot of theaters have been closed. And I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that even though there are a lot of club appearances, because people are like, well, everybody else is performing. I was like, yeah, they're doing club appearances, which hold, even though they're packed out, it holds up to a certain amount. But we were doing stadiums and arenas and outside venues that held at least 15, 20,000 people. So it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know if it'll ever get back to that or what the case may be, but whatever it is, like, we still ready to run as soon as they say go.
Yes. There got to be something for the album. Like
Something.
it's just a monumental. It was one of them album. Like I remember that the cover and everything. You sitting with your legs crossed to the side,
Yep. I want to
spray.
recreate a lot of that stuff, but we'll see how it goes, because this new glow deserves its own, like, I just think it just deserves its own go of its own, because at the end of the day, I literally grew up in the industry. So
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a lot from the girl with the braids that was sitting cross legged. And now I'm the woman that sits with the crown atop her head. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a lot I've learned. So even though
Yeah.
I still probably look the same, it's so much has changed within me.
Yeah.
That little Mo has been through a lot. This one is coming out of a lot. And so I want that to be reflective on everything I do from here on out.
Yeah, I want to ask you from that album and the whole process from, you know, creating the album to promoting it to touring it. Because I remember seeing you at the B96 Halloween Bash back in
Yep. We're
2001. I remember it was you,
everywhere.
Diddy, Fab. It was a whole bunch
Everywhere.
of people on the lineup, and y'all killed it. I remember.
Thank
And
you.
you know, what's one good memory that really sticks with you for that album that you're just like, dang, I did that. Like,
The album was actually done when we did Superwoman Part 2.
mm-hmm.
So I believe it was going to get pushed back again. But by the grace of God and DJ Clue having his own show, the Monday Night Mixtape on Hot 97 at the time, and Duro being a master engineer, and Fab being signed to them, we were able to record the record and honestly put it out ourselves. So even though I was on a major,
Awesome.
we did the independent, like, no, like, this the record right here is up. Let's go. He
Yeah.
played it, and then it just caught on like wildfire. I think a lot of times when you're coming out with your own project, because I was known for doing songs with, you know, everybody else, it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like at the time, when the spotlight is on you, it's like a heavy pressure. So I wanted
Yeah.
to be sure that we was ready. And a lot of times people be thinking that you have to have this big old feature, and or
You
else it's
don't.
gonna fail, because I was featured with some heavy hitters, some platinum selling artists before I
Mm-hmm.
dropped my single. But the streets chose, and they was like, that's our girl. And I'm so appreciative of that, not only then but now, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of those same people, you being one of them, is still rocking with me. Like, you can't
Yeah.
pay for that type of loyalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's priceless. And it's
Priceless.
hard to get that, I feel, in coming out today. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I'm loyal to you as a fan. Like I always rock with you. Like
thank you.
it's just weird like how it's different today. I don't know, it's just a different
Now
beast.
people have more followers, we have more fans, because we put
Mm-hmm.
out a body of work. And not to discredit anybody what they're doing, but
Yeah.
we had to do to pave the way that you could put out one song now. People like, they only got one song, be like, well, that's all they need, because they run it up and they live
Mm-hmm.
a lavish lifestyle. Them TikToks
Yeah.
crazy. Them YouTube views is lit. You
It's
hear me?
crazy.
You feel me? So now
Yeah.
that we get to incorporate, and I got to release my first two albums based on the true story and Meet the Girl Next Door on streaming, now I get to reintroduce that And I get
Mm-hmm.
that streaming money is way different. We didn't have that. We didn't have social media back then. So you were lucky if you got into Right On Magazine or Word Up or The Source. If you
Mm-hmm.
could get into any of those magazines that were catering to the hip hop and R&B genre, then you were good. But
Yep.
you had to know somebody. It wasn't like, the editor or the
Yep.
CEO was reaching directly out to the artist. Now you can reach out to me and be like, yo, me and my manager, like, yo, I want to get Mo on. Boom. It's no more, well, we're gonna do the interview today and it's gonna come out 3 months later. You don't
Yep.
have to do so much of a lead up. You can have it tonight and I can put out a song right now and everybody that sees me can go get it. So
Yeah, it's
it's
crazy.
a blessing the way the industry has come around full circle, but at the same time, just to be able to use today's technology and way to promote with my old stuff as well as the new stuff, that's a blessing in itself.
Yeah. And one thing I'm so funny you brought that up because I remember that when your album got pushed back, I remember
Oh,
Tada came out first. And I remember
yes.
you had the short hair. And I
Yep.
was like, oh my God, she about to because Superwoman Part One was done. I
Yep.
remember I remember hearing that in Tada, and I was like, oh my God, she's about to drop her album. And then they pushed, and I was like, man, come on, I'm ready. And don't get me wrong, I love Superwoman Part Two as well.
Hmm.
But I was just like, dang, they did that to Mo. Like, come on, we want because I was a big fan already from Tada and Superwoman Part One. Like, someone even asked me recently, like, was there ever a part one? I'm like, you ain't a fan. There was a part one. If you a fan,
Yes. A lot of
it,
people don't even know that. But like I said, the album was done. So when we added that, they had no choice but to put it out after that because it had gained so much traction and people had
mm-hmm,
knew me for the other records, Tada, Superman Part One. And I also did a song called If You Want to Dance, but they like the labels back then used to wanted to have so many pre-sales, like they wanted you to
yeah,
platinum the first week. And I guess they didn't realize, like, because a lot of artists didn't want to work. I love to work. I loved being on the road. That's all I knew. So I didn't mind like if it didn't come in number one that week, keep on working and it could push
mm-hmm,
up. But now it's not so much of a strain. So you could put out a song and you could be top 100 and you could see it climb and you could be like, thank y'all so much. The fans can go in and literally root for you. And we were rooting for you and push you to number one. They're not worried about if you're in the top 10 now, that's cool. But if you start at the bottom and then work your way up, it just gives you a different type of gratification that I think is appreciated now
mm-hmm,
more than it was before because a lot of people are independent or a lot of people are doing it and then the labels are coming to them. Then they get the machine behind them because everybody is out here working and they are grinding and I see it and I'm so proud and so happy for a lot of people who never gave up when people say, oh, you ain't gonna make it and they kept on pushing from the
mm-hmm,
Lizzos to say, oh, this song was out for 2 years before people caught her. Like I love those kind of success stories. People be sleeping, but them charts be
yep,
creeping and then that shit go up.
yeah. It's crazy. Like it's so true because people be having songs for years and then they finally, but you said the hustle is real. You can't give up. And so many people in this
You
day and age,
can't.
they want
You
to
can't.
rebrand and give up right away, and it's like, why are you rebranding? You didn't even make it out
Or
there
they'll
for the first
confuse
time
it, be
around.
like, oh, well, I have 1 million followers, so I think at least half of them are gonna buy my single. It don't work like that. You got to
Mm-mm.
keep on posting. I've learned through radio there are recycled viewers and recycled listeners and recycled fans. So even though you may have 1 million today, it may drop down and may go up, but you got to still keep pushing. So for the
Mm-hmm.
people that don't know, you may show up on somebody's page and they be like, oh, I didn't even know she had something out. You gotta keep pushing.
Yeah, definitely. I want to ask you, this day and age it's so different, but you got to experience the golden years. You got to experience I wish I was a singer just at that time because it was the time to become an artist and become famous and become a music star. It was, I mean, you had the budgets, you had the labels
Unlimited budget.
backing, unlimited, exactly. I mean, touring, promo, city to city, and then touring at night and, making new music while you're still promoting the first album. You're already recording new music for the next album.
Yeah.
How was it during that time? Because it'll never be, I feel, again, at least for this generation. It's just different.
It felt great because you knew that when you had a specific product coming out, when your song was ready or your album was ready,
Mm-hmm.
that the label was going to sit you down and they're going to say, this is how much we're going to put up. And this is, what we're going to do. And then you can go outside of that because we didn't have 360s. You go outside of
Yep.
and then you could do a show. That's when the walkthroughs and stuff So for people who
Mm-hmm.
couldn't make it to the concert, if it was sold out, then you get to do the meet and greets, the walkthroughs, the hostings, and the additional stuff, on the side or in between, to get your bag up. So
Mm-hmm.
that time, I would say it is not like that no more, only because social media has played a big part in. Like, I know stuff goes viral, but people feel once they see you on social media, they know you already. So it was the mystery of the artist back then to be like, oh my God, they come! I can't believe you are coming to my city. Then you
Yeah.
pull up and you got a chance to meet them, but a lot has changed. So that era, that's why a lot of people say that's the best era from like the 90s to the early
Yes.
2000s. People love that is because we learned from the mistakes from the people from the 60s and the 70s, from the mistakes
Mm-hmm.
they made. Even though we made our mistakes, we learned. That's why this generation, I feel they have it a lot easier and the world is at their disposal. That's why a lot of people say, well, people's baby mothers is more famous than artists. No, it's a new wave.
Yeah, it's
So
just
you
different.
just got to go with the flow. So it's not, you can't beat them, join them. It's just like salute them, get with them, you know, show them like this is still the industry and it can go up and down. There's going to be time where that stuff filters out. And as long as you're a true, genuine artist and you have a fan base
Mm-hmm.
and you stay in tune with that, there's no way you should be able to lose. Like, you should always be able to be working.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I love, like you've worked with so many amazing artists over
Mhm.
time and still are. I'm sure you'll continue even in the future with this new album. Gonna have some special people. I know you can't say, but
Yeah.
what was it like? Because I mean, you just didn't work with like one person. I mean, you had three heavy hitters.
Hmm.
Like, you were brought into what Missy. I know you were like, sending music to what Electra, and then like for Nicole's demo, I
Nicole
think it
Ray,
was.
Mocha,
Yeah,
C,
Mocha. Yeah.
Keith Sweat, like I was working with everybody at Electra, but the fact that Missy had her own label at that time, I
Mm-hmm.
got to send in demos and stuff, to for placements.
Yeah.
But she just wound up liking my style and my sound so much, she started taking me on the road, which honestly doesn't happen these days because a lot of people be clout chasing and trying to go around the artist. They be like, oh, they ain't pay me this and that.
And
Like,
yeah,
no, I knew once that door was open for me, I was ready to work. So I was prepared.
yeah, because I mean, Missy, I mean, Ja Rule, you put Fab onto the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like you did that. Like, how does it feel? Like you were introduced by huge people, and then you brought on someone that is now your brother. You know what I'm saying? Like
I think
everyone that knows you two together.
that's that's a blessing because that's what I honestly do for this generation as well. There are
Mm-hmm.
other artists that are up and coming that are new, and I'll be like, yo, I see you, because everybody just wants to know that I just want to be heard. I just want to
Yeah.
be seen. And when I know it's a genuine gift and a talent, me and my team, we always salute. There are artists that may not ever come out, but be like, yo, I see you. Like you working with
Mm-hmm.
something. I think you're dope. You know what I'm saying? And when I was first hearing Fab on the mixtapes, me and my brother used to be like, yo, we want to meet the kid that always spell his name on everything. That was his signature. So that's why I always tell people, have your signature and what people will know and remember you by.
Mm-hmm.
And his to this day is spelling his name. Like, no matter where he goes, people always gonna know, yo, he always spells his name. So
Yeah.
that stuck, and that was up. So with that, it was just like people always remember that I had braids. People will always remember me for something. So that became a part of my legacy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like Mo will put you in a good position. So with that, it's like even with the new artists, if I think you rocking with something and you got your mind right and you focus, I have no problem with helping someone along the way. Like, we'll send songs to new artists. We'll do whatever we can, because that push, that's what helped me level up. Missy saying, yo, you want to go on the road. A lot of times that doesn't happen because, you never know anybody's ulterior motive, but
Mm-hmm.
you got to just trust the heart of somebody. So with that, it's like all new artists, we welcome them. We can't take everybody with us, but as much as we can, even like podcasts, people always think that, or shows or lives, they ain't got 100 million viewers. Don't nobody got time for all that. Sometimes you never know who's filtering in and out, or might
Yeah.
just to hear that one thing that'll push them to go forward. So I never got caught up in the numbers or in the crowd. I always want to do what was best. Somebody put me in position, I want to make sure I reciprocate that. And that's when people respect you, when they see that you
Mm-hmm.
put people on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you 100% on that. But another thing you did, twice I think so far. How was it getting involved with R&B Divas LA, and then you did, Love and Hip Hop New
Yeah.
York? How was that for you? Just a learning process, and because the editing I know was a beast, and they tell you
Yeah.
one thing, and it's they show another because you ain't
Yeah.
seeing it until all of us are watching it with you all, which
And you be
is
like, when did I say that? That
so.
didn't even go with that. But it happens. Um, just going from, I know what reality TV, the whole thing about being in reality TV is not to just be on one show, unless it's a franchise
Yeah.
that you know is going to be around for years and years and years. So Love and Hip Hop has been around, but everybody knows they filter new people in, and it's always changing. That's the way it's supposed to be. And then once you're under like main cast or reality TV royalty, you can really pick and be like, oh, I want to try this show out to see how my personality fits. So with R&B
Hmm.
Divas, it was just showing the real life of people that you love and hear their music, but we were going through real things. So the
Hmm.
transition from R&B Divas to Love and Hip Hop was a big drastic change. Honestly, I should have went from Love and Hip Hop to R&B Divas, because it honestly went from a mature audience to like, yo, like you swimming with the sharks. As soon as,
Yeah.
as soon as they start rolling, you don't even know that you rolling, but you just like, oh shoot, they fighting, it's up, like, woo, like you never know what they had to talk about behind the scenes, or when they did their green screen, or when they did their interviews, what they were
Hmm.
chosen for. So you just have to be cognizant that whatever you told them your story was going to be, stick to that script. Because a
Yeah.
lot of people, I saw a lot of people come on with one story and switch it up, be like, I thought you wanted to sell your album. Now you sell, you just got to stick to your script. So with
Yeah.
R&B Divas to Love and Hip Hop to the other reality shows, to even the ones I've turned down, it's just like, now that I know what I did good and what I made mistakes at, now I know how to carry it. So when another show
Hmm.
comes along, the Lil Mo show comes along, or whatever movement we go with, for the next endeavor, I just want to make sure that I'm a part of the whole process, because I could be talking about one thing, and even though I said it, and then
Yeah.
when you're interviewed, you have to give the backstory to it. I don't want to have to keep repeating myself, or straightening my face, because
Hmm.
I'll be like, well, I didn't know this person was doing that, or I didn't know they was going to take that, or they was shooting scenes. You know what I'm saying? It happens,
Hmm.
but it comes with the territory. You know what you signed up for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it makes sense. And I want to talk about Taming Little Mo. You dropped it. It's crazy. That's
Oh,
already
wow.
you
That
know
book about 100 years old,
so
too.
it's 2014. You dropped it October
Time be
2014.
flying. Time
Right?
don't know
I feel like I
nobody.
interviewed you here at the Chicago Women's Expo
Yep.
like yesterday, and you were
Yep.
pregnant at the time. I remember. Like it's
Yeah, child.
crazy.
Yeah,
Like
child. I was
how
pregnant a
time.
whole lot of times.
Time. But what did this book help you with? Just letting people know, because yeah, you speak your mind. You're not, you're an open book, which is
Yeah.
awesome that you let the world know and you let the fans. You don't hide. But at this time, what was it for you? How was it? And meeting, I know you went on a lot of, signings. You got to meet a lot of fans, and
Yeah.
how was it for you?
With that book, it was like, really, see, it initially was supposed to be a reality TV, Taming Little
Okay.
Mo, because I realized, like, I was jumping off the deep end. I was just running around, and it comes a point in life where you just like, you got to slow it down. So I
Hmm.
thought by telling my story that would help. But honestly, I would say I made matters worse, because me trying to keep product and things out there that would tell my story, then I started doing reality TV again after that. It was like a lot of things wasn't adding up to the consumer. So even though
Hmm.
this is my story, so if you don't read it and then you see me on TV, you're like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. How she go from singing Superwoman to being in an abusive relationship? How she go from empowering to an
Yeah.
addiction? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I had to reel it back in and realize, okay, I get another chance to tell my side of the story. So with that, it's definitely going to be a part two to the book. But now I get to tell like everything, not just
Yeah.
one sided, and I get in depth, because in the book I spoke about some traumatic things, and
Hmm.
because I don't think I opened all the way up with it, because I didn't want to scare people, because I didn't want people to really know that part of me. But then when I
Hmm.
opened up so much with reality TV, and then with the blogs and stuff, I was just like, wow, as long as I'm telling people the truth and how I made it out, that's when I draw people. As long as I'm singing and I'm speaking my truth, that's how I realized I draw people. Because I feel there was a time where I had lost people because I wasn't living up to my own hype or to what I was singing about. So now I get to tell my truth again. And, I'm not trying to pick up where I left off, but I'm trying to show y'all where I'm at now.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I love you did with the book was I really love you did the whole discography.
Just
I
in
thought
case
that
everybody thought I
was
only had one hit.
right. That let people know. That's what I'm saying. Like I love you put that in there because I was
A
like,
lot of people are like, oh, she just got that one song. I'm like, no.
nah, she got hits, hits upon hits. Like
Discography is everything.
exactly. Yeah, I love you put that in there. But biopics are so big now. I could
Yeah.
see like you having a dope one because I think it would just be super dope. Like so many people are coming out with super, dope biopics and they're behind it. The artist is actually behind it. It's not
Yeah.
like, before a lot of people were, it wasn't official, it was unofficial. But
Yeah.
today,
Where people had to be deceased before you get to hear their
yes,
story. You just like, wait, what? Like, what happened?
exactly.
What happened? Like,
Mm-hmm.
with me, I believe that's definitely in the works. It's crazy because I've been approached about one before, but I declined it because I was like, it's not the time. I think
Yeah.
timing is everything. And I
Mm-hmm.
would rather do it now when I have a huge story to tell and the open book is really open and you could really see.
Yep.
If I would have told you that, I think it would have went over people's heads and nobody would have cared because I wasn't living up to my own standards. So now
Yeah.
that I have a set standard and a foundation and goals and things that I want to achieve, and I have the empathy that I didn't have before, not sympathy, but the empathy that you want, you have to learn how to give. So I can
Mm-hmm.
show how I full circled and turn this thing all the way around to bring it up. Because a lot of people, it seems like they get their biopics or you hear about them, like I said, either when they're deceased or when they're at rock bottom. And I'm just like, nah, we passed that. We
Yeah.
on the climb up. So I want to show how I made it back damn near from the dead.
Yeah. Because there's so many people. Like for one biopic that I really appreciated lately was Wendy Williams. It was super. She let everything out. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like yours would be something like that. You wouldn't hold back. Where I'm not gonna. I've seen a couple other ones recently, and they were hiding stuff still. It's like don't do one if you're gonna, just don't
Especially
do it.
now with the internet age and the social media,
Yeah.
people gonna find out some tea
It comes
and
to the
they're gonna be
light
like,
some
oh, they
way
didn't tell that
somehow.
part. So I know you can't tell it all, but tell the good parts. People with everything, even with reality TV, there's
Mm-hmm.
a conflict. It always climbs. You can't have a
Mm-hmm.
conflict without a resolve. So it's just like you went through this, but what did you do after? So it has
Yeah.
to be a conflict, then it rises, and then how you get to a resolution, and that's how you bring the people back in. You can't just keep on saying, well, I was in it, because then you try to figure out what is it about you that keeps on attracting
Mm-hmm.
negativity if you're supposed to be so positive. What is it about you that you keep on attracting
Yeah.
and failing at relationships when you're singing about love? So it has to be a part where you reel it back in. And honestly, that's the reason why I'm so proud of my new album, Savage Heart, with the
Yes.
first single being Broken Heart. So I get to reel it back in.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the single right now. I'm gonna tell you this: "Broken Heart" is probably one of my favorite songs ever by you, and I'm not just saying it because
And
it's your
mine
current
too.
single.
I'm not gonna even hold you. Like when I listen to it, everybody knows I could do the vocal acrobats, but we didn't have to
That's
do
what I
that.
like. That's what you reminded me of Whitney Houston. I remember Whitney did that. She didn't have to do those high notes. Yeah, you could do them, but you don't need it all the time. It's
There
not
we go.
necessary, and it trains
Sometimes
your
you just
voice live every
gotta
night. You don't need
you
that.
just sing through it because a lot of people is just like I know a lot of people so used if you go back and listen to that, I did every vocal acrobat you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
I did eighths, fourths, I did scales, I gave riffs, we did 100 backgrounds, and it took us like 3 days to record the song and then mix it and then go back and fix it. Then shoot a video, which was a 3 day, 2 or 3 day video shoot. You ain't gotta do that no more. Go in there on your birthday, sis, sing this thing from the heart. We're gonna get it mixed and then we're gonna put this thing out. Period.
Yeah, it
Sing it
is.
from your heart and people will get it. And we could remix it. We could do the acoustic version. We could do the Post Malone remix. Like anybody at this point is just like when you think of so many ways that when you don't do too much, you can still add to it. You ever had a
Mm-hmm.
piece of cake and be like, oh, this is too sweet because you added too much sugar. But if you make it just
Mm-hmm.
right, let people add what they want to it. So then I have the chance to do the part twos like we did with Superwoman. I have a chance to do Broken Heart Part 2, you know, with I already know the people that I would love to hear their rendition, not singing my verse, but adding their
Mm-hmm.
spill to it. And I think that would be amazing. So we working. So the song has been out. It'll be 2 weeks on Friday, I believe. 2 weeks on tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But with that, we just start working it. Watch how this thing go up. And it's a lot of things that I'm seeing. I'm just like, it's so many people walking around with a broken heart and they don't realize it, or they want to say it, but they don't want people to disrespect their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. The song is that song I listen to at least once a day since it's dropped, if not multiple times. I'll just put it on repeat on my Apple Music. I'm just like, okay, repeat, repeat. It's
thank
just a vibe. It's just like I said, and it's not where you have to sing all those highest notes. Not saying
you.
those
Don't
aren't good; those are
get your
amazing.
points across. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just a vibe. Like it's just one
In
of
and
them
out.
songs.
three
Yeah.
minutes, literally 3 minutes of just vibe, and it makes you think because the thoughts and the process that we put into it, we was just like, you think long, you think wrong. And I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
overdo it where it's just be like, oh, she trying too hard. I wanted to give just enough to make you want more.
Yeah.
But it still makes you think like, dang, I ain't know Mo was going through this. Just like, yeah, because a lot of people didn't see it. But I want
Yeah.
you to, when I start speaking on it, and when you hear it in the music, I want you to feel it. That's a
And
vibe.
I love that you did. It was a different sound I haven't heard from you before, which
And
I
actually, that's
loved.
my tone, alto, but I was singing high all in the rafters for
Mm-hmm.
years, wanting to be the sixth Clark sister, you know, thinking that I had to compete when I realized I was just like, nah, you don't have to compete with anybody. My manager always tells me, you could do what they could do. A lot of people can't do what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's come out with this new sound, this clean sound, and save all those ad libs and stuff for the live show or for
Yeah.
the challenges and stuff. But for the most part, just sing, Mo. People love to hear you sing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I want to ask you, Savage Heart, how much have you completed so far? Are you still like just getting started? How's it been for you?
No, we worked through this whole pandemic.
So
So
it's the whole, oh, dang,
it's
okay.
basically just waiting for the mixes to come back and just handling the business side. But far as the album, I think we probably got about 3 albums done. Like we are
Dang,
not playing.
okay.
It's not a game. Like
Nice.
literally been working and still to this day, still going into the studio. The power of social media and music today is I can have a whole album finished and I could be like, no, I want to add this now. Like I want to
Mm-hmm.
add this. Like that's that's the power of it all. And that's why I'm so glad the industry is at this point where people want real music, they want real singing, they want to
Mm-hmm.
feel something again. Because a
Yes.
lot of people are like this generation don't care. Well, I don't know what generation you talk about because they care, but they don't care about everything. So with
Yep.
that, it's just like I want to make sure that for everyone that says that this generation is whatever they're saying, no, and
Yeah.
some of the greatest artists will come from this generation. So I want to
Yes.
be one to work with them and for them to be like, so when I talk to some of the new artists, they be like, what, you're a legend. I love you. And I'm just like, wow, that feels amazing. And I know how I must feel to them when I reach out and be like, I see you, sis. I see you, bro. You doing your thing. I ain't
Yeah.
mad at it.
Yeah.
Salute.
One thing I hope you do, because I just started my collection actually this year in quarantine, this past year, because I was like, you know what? They're just awesome. I'm waiting for your 2 albums to come in the mail. I ordered them off of like eBay or Discogs because they're like limited edition. The based on a true story vinyl. I
Oh,
just ordered that, and I ordered the Forever single because I think those are the two that are out. But are you thinking about releasing like merch, like vinyls? Because Broken Heart CD, I mean the cover art,
mhm.
beautiful. It's like a piece of art. It's just like it's dope how it's not showing your face. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's just different. It's more artistic. It's not, I'm not saying you can't show your face, but it's just a mystique about it, and it's just super dope. So, do you want to do merch and stuff like that for the future?
definitely. Trust me. When I say we're getting into all that, we're not going to leave any stone unturned. Like everything that I could put my hands on at this point, if I could touch it, and I can grasp it, it's mine. So from merch to music to like it's so many things that we have in the works, but this time I wanted to be decent and in order because I was doing things and I wasn't seeing a great return, but everybody else I was like somebody getting paid, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I got a chance to really handle business. One thing management don't play about is handling business, because
Yep.
I wanted Broken Art to come out to January 1st. He was like, no, wait, timing is everything, stop being so fast, trust the process, have patience. And I was like, okay. And then we got to release it on my daughter's sweet 16 birthday, which is a date I'll never forget and it's monumental to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like certain things take time.
Yep.
Rome wasn't built in a day. And it's just like sometimes things take time. No rush. But when it come out, you're gonna feel it.
Oh, I can't wait. And another thing you did that I was so happy you did, and how was it? Welcome to the Dungeon tour with Candy. How was that?
Ooh, that was
Because
lit. That was lit. That was
the
an experience. But honestly, the way that she thinks is so dope to me
yeah,
because people just think, oh, that's just people being, no, it's not people just going to a concert and being nasty. It's a whole world
yeah,
that you get to welcome, and just the way she has the games and the music to go along with it, it's a
mm-hmm,
vibe. And it's for
yeah,
grown folks, but it's a vibe. Like I love the maturity of it. It's not it's so I love the class of it. It's tasteful and it's fun.
mm-hmm,
Now, what people do on their own time and behind it, like that's on them. But when they put
yeah,
that show together, like I love the movement of it. Like
mm-hmm.
to me, it's real fun.
Yeah. I hope they do a part two once Corona ends and world comes back together. I hope you're a part of it
Hello,
again because yeah, that was a good look, and I think it was like you said, it was something different that people aren't used to, but still people were curious to see it. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
People want to peak.
Yeah, it's right. Who doesn't? I mean, it's human nature. It's
Yes,
and one
the
thing I can't
curiosity.
wait. Yeah, well, I cannot wait for you to tour again or just do a show. To that
Right?
beat, that time, hold on, but for forever when you're singing that first line and that beat drops,
People go crazy to this day,
it
and I
oh
love it.
my god, it is priceless. Like it is something. If you experienced it, you don't know how to explain it. It's just, and you watch YouTube videos. It's just crazy. Like,
It's a vibe.
yeah, like
That's
it
that's the
is.
feeling I want to bring back, but this time it's genuine because I know when I recorded the song, like that's when I was pregnant with my first daughter. So I
Mm-hmm.
was in a happy and I was in a safe and a protected space, and it was just like I one thing about me is I'm gonna put my emotions on whatever song I'm singing.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, it's just like now I'm in a different mental space. Like now when I sing those songs, I know I'm really gonna get into it because I feel so free and so like at peace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I want to share that with the world, even though there's some pain and there's some things that I'm healing from. It's like
Yeah.
I get to share this journey, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and people checking for it, and that's why I just can't wait. So I want them to make sure they run up Broken Heart. I want to hear everybody's
Yes.
rendition. Like I want to hear what they would do to it, and just tag me. And even if there's a lot of people I've seen and I've read stories, people, and I want people to keep sending that in because that encourages me to know that me speaking through what I've been through and singing through a lot of things that I had to withdraw from.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love to see people overcome. I've gotten stories from people's like, yo, watching and listening to you for the past couple of weeks has really helped me out of abusive situation, has helped me kick my opioid addiction. And I read something today because when we did Broken Heart, I was thinking I'm going through stuff. Someone may be going through something worse than you. When Kobe passed and his
Mm-hmm.
daughter and the people on the helicopter, like I saw something today where Vanessa Bryant says, I still haven't forgiven God for that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's deep.
It's really deep.
So
Yeah.
I said today, I posted, I was just like, I had the audacity, being of sound mind, be like, well, God, how could you do me like that? Like, what did I do to deserve this? You feel
Mm-hmm.
me?
Yeah.
But you have to trust God enough to know that whatever He brings you to, He's going to bring you through. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to preach or nothing. That's why I say, listen to the songs and listen to the words and listen to what I'm pouring out of my heart. Because for the simple fact that something has hurt. As much as we try to, oh man, we don't care about nothing. Something has broken your heart,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to heal from that. If not, whatever continues and allow, like whatever you allow will continue.
Yep.
So I realized I was attracting a lot of things because I was allowing it. And even though I said I'm not dealing with this, I still hadn't healed from it. So it was still coming to me
Mm-hmm.
as if it was a magnet. But now that I've let go and I've really leveled up,
Yeah.
it's really nothing that can get my attention or knock me off my pivot, because I'm so focused at this point. Like the glow, that's all the
Yeah. Your
glow in the cup.
photos you've been dropping with the red you have on, the recent
Oh
ones you
yeah.
just posted, I was like,
And we
Mo
did
is
those just
doing it.
like, they'll call me and be like, come on, we got to go shoot some footage. And I'll be like, well, I got to go get ready. And literally everything will be lined up. All I got to do is, take a picture, smile, and just give glow.
Yeah, there you are doing, like, I'm so happy for you, and like
Thank
just
you.
seeing you keep doing it and never giving up. It's just like, like
Ever.
you're someone I grew up with. Like you're
Ever.
someone that I always, it's when you see someone's journey and now you're just killing it, and it's just, you still have so much more to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's 20 years from your debut album, but I feel like it was yesterday. But I can't wait for Broken Heart and for Savage Heart. you
Thank you.
know, but to close up,
Mhm.
verses is a huge thing.
Oh,
Would you
yeah.
ever, would you ever do one? Because I could see you got hits upon hits upon hits. Like, would you want to do it if you were offered?
I wouldn't not do it.
Okay.
I like the way that they're switching it up, and now that they did the big deal with Trilla, like a lot of people's like, why would they say? I'm just like, no, you always do that. Everybody that owns anything knows
Mm-hmm.
to sell and then
Yep.
take it to a bigger platform. Of course, it was created during quarantine that gave us entertainment, but now it's time to move on to bigger things. I love what they did when they brought people who had been, when they had Brandy and Monica for years. Everybody, well, what went on? Then they got to mend that bridge right there.
Yep.
So it's helped the culture a lot. I love the way they did the D'Angelo one, where it was D'Angelo
Yep.
and Friends. That was a vibe. So I honestly would like to do one like how D'Angelo and Friends would have,
Yeah.
like the Little Mo show versus presents the Little Mo show. I think that would be lit. So I get to sing some of the songs you didn't know that I commemorated, wrote, appeared on, that I
Mm-hmm.
was a part of. They might not remember, and then showcase the new music. I think that it's going to be a major platform for artists if we like just keep on supporting, because
Yeah.
Tim and Swizz did it for the culture. So it's just like, since I'm a part of the culture, I think that would be amazing. I would love, there's a lot of people who I would love to see on, and they'd be like, well, who could they battle? It's not so much about the battle. It's just realizing like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, they gave us some good music. And
Yeah.
so I see that they're going to do versus sports and different things. So there's still so much that they could do with it. I personally don't think I would want to battle anybody, because I want to go again because I'm ready for it to play this and see where everybody did. So more like a Little Mo show, a little versus presents. Like I think that'll be lit. So we'll see what comes about. And if I never make it there, just know that I'm still gonna go up. We're still gonna be singing to the top of our lungs. It's still gonna be lit. Period.
Yes, but Mo, I just want to thank you so much for always
Nope.
being so real, and like, you like one of them artists I just feel so relatable, and just you've
Thank
never
you.
been big headed. You've always been real with your fans and just the public, and laying it out there. I know it's tough. I know it's a lot, but I
Yeah.
thank you for that, and always singing your butt off and giving us good music and giving me songs where like, I think of songs of yours and they think of good memories and
Mm-hmm.
good times with friends or in high school or in college or at a
That
party.
nostalgia.
Yes, it's that nostalgia that it's
The
just something you can't pay
nostalgia.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most, yes.
That's that vibe.
Yeah, it's just something priceless, money can't buy. But I can't wait to see you in the future. Can't
Thank
wait to see you at a show. Definitely have to link up, but stay blessed, stay healthy, stay
you
safe.
as well. Yeah, you keep doing your thing because you're doing big things. I'm proud of you.
Thank
And
you. I appreciate that.
like, you've been in the game for a minute, and so, and you still going, because I know it's a lot out there. So the fact
Yeah.
that you still going and you still glowing, it ain't got no choice but to be up.
Yeah, it's almost 10 years in for myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, hey, it's 10 years in, so why not give another 10 and another 10? It's just can't give up. It just But
Quitting is not an option, neither is failure. So
exactly.
that's what I want to leave everybody with. Failure and quitting is not an option. Not on my watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. But thank you so much, Mo. Like I said,
Thank you to
stay
everybody
safe.
who joined us tonight on the live. Keep running it up. Broken Heart, available on all streaming platforms. Much love to you. Much love to everybody. And y'all just enjoy y'all evening. And that's all. Broken Heart.
Yes, Broken Heart. Everyone go get it now. Stream it, buy it. Okay,
Yep.
thanks, Mo.
No
Appreciate
problem.
you.
All right.
Okay, stay safe.
You too.